My football manager tells me that 75% of my team talks has nothing to do with football. I say that to say that I spoke to one of the ballers I used to coach just recently. I asked him how he was doing, and he says, Coach, you always warned us about growing up. He says, now I know what you mean. Having said all of that, what is adulting? And our young Jamaicans being prepared for it. We asked counseling psychologist and our good friend Andre Allen Casey to join us on this conversation. Morning, my friend. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning.
Great to see you as always. Hope everything is all right with you and the family.
Indeed.
So what is adulting?
Adulting basically is realizing what being adult actually means and not being prepared for it. Sometimes we might say, boy, in old time days, we say, boy, the picnic either too prime or them grow up too fast, or them whatever too big for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, here is where they just feel like they have to take over the role of parenting or in relation to also looking after themselves. They have to start to work early, especially if that was their experience early in life. The idea also is when they also feel pressured, literally, because they have to take on the role of being an adult. And to an extent, even their own childhood, they have escaped that childhood because sometimes situations put them into that position where they feel more. Adulting is also trying not to feel like you're a failure when you are not meeting your goals. Because as far as they're concerned, you're like, wow, I'm so young and I feel pressured to look like an adult. I feel pressured to behave like an adult. I feel pressured to do the things so that adults can say, boy, for a young person like you, look at what you have achieved. For a young person like you, look at what you have done. And so that is the idea behind adulting.
Yeah, it's also about responsibility. I heard a parent the other day, a mother saying to her father, I see you want to buy a car, for their daughter. And she said, but make sure you buy one that you can afford the insurance, afford the upkeep, and can put gas in there. Because what I see you buying, she can't afford it. So
Right.
so it's also accepting personal responsibility for the things in your life. Isn't that so?
Indeed, very much so. But also remember, though, you say, to a large extent, if they look around and they see their peers or some of their peers look like, before them even finish high school, they might drive come out of school. I want that to, or if they see a certain level of independence as far as adults are concerned, then in their own efforts to become independent, possibly even too soon, then they're going to be doing certain things. They want to buy a house now. And there is almost a need to achieve everything here and right now. I can't wait until I reach even your age to acquire these things. There is a level of immediacy for me to achieve some of these things. So sometimes you might even find that they cut the process. And what do I mean? They might find themselves doing things that are illegal because of a need for them to achieve all of these things so that their parents can be proud of them now.
As a parent or as parents, I can remember having a discussion with my daughter's mom, because I think when she was about 6 or 7, she wanted her to make her own breakfast. And I kind of said, no, sir, she's a little girl. But some other parents said, no, they need to know that from very young and they must know how to do these things. Is there an age, is there a time in life that you put the child down and say, all right, you soon turn big people now, this is what you do, or no?
I do believe as early as possible, you want to always teach your children to become responsible. But at the same time, you have to remind yourself that they are your responsibility.
Yes.
Teach them to become responsible, yes, but they are your responsibility. And so sometimes we have to be careful that we don't try to, push our children to become adults too soon. And when they should take on such a role now, they have lost out on their own childhood.
I just want to jump in there, because what is too soon? Going back to my discussion again, she was
right.
just like 6 years
right.
old. What is too soon?
Well, for example, some of the very things that we mentioned, like for example, the idea that I may want to have a car soon, I
Right.
may want a house soon, I may even want to have children soon. In other words, I want to take on those responsibilities that I see you doing, just to prove to you that I can manage on my own. So that's what I mean by too soon. And so sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes some parents say, "All right, go on then, go on." You can go to road and say, "Oh, what will I feel like?" And oftentimes we have seen many children leave their homes too soon, and when life hit them,
Yeah.
and responsibilities, they are the same ones who sing them Sankey and find their
Yeah.
way back.
Is it important for everyone to arrive at adulting at their own pace? Because
Most definitely.
yeah, because there's a time where I mean parents will say, "You see that one day? You see I'm irresponsible. You see you need to grow up. You need." It's important that everybody gets there at their own pace.
Indeed, very much so. Because sometimes parents are guilty of forcing their children to become adults too soon, meaning that they would say things to them like, "Listen, when I was your age, this is what I did, and when I was your age, from nine, we start working, right?" And so therefore, when a child meets 16, as far as you're concerned, listen, you start work late. At 16, when we was 9, when we was 12, we start work. At 16, you start to work. No, so now that you start to work at 16,
Yeah.
you're after me.
Yeah.
And now you need to help with the light bill, help with the water bill, help with this, help with that. And so now the child or the children now feel like, boy, I have to become an adult. I'm
Yeah.
being forced in this position because his mommy alone, his daddy alone,
Yeah.
they afford it, and that they ask for lunch money. And so sometimes the children take on these responsibilities prematurely.
Yeah, it's a great question. The same thing I was going to ask, because it depends on the child sometimes. Some are just very mature from very early. Good to see you, my friend. Stay safe and God bless you.
My pleasure.
Andre Allen Casey, counseling psychologist. All right, Lucas Graham takes us to the break. And News in 5 with 7 years.